The year is 2045. Sick of watching your family waste away, you decide to finally take it to the breadlines, burst through all the security, and make off with as much sustenance as you can to feed them.
Yes.
You break out of the glass of the security checkpoint and hoof it into the streets, and you give yourself about 2 minutes before the facial recognition drone cops decide to swarm, and
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
and you know that you have just enough time to make it back to at least one of your little hideouts because you got your boys that helped you set up the plan.
Yeah.
But apparently you might have been sold out because some of those drone cops were ready and waiting the moment you got outside. You run into the crowds, you blend in, you do your best, you use your escape tactics, and for the most part, you seem okay. But suddenly, the drone cops that scanned your face are plastering that face all over Times Square.
Oh, man.
Your face is everywhere. They're hunting for you because you stole food, and
Fucked.
You're absolutely fucked. You do your best parkouring into an alleyway, you hoof it, you turn a corner, you hit a cul-de-sac, you got nowhere to go, and then the drone cops and their Ed 209s have you surrounded. The fuck do you do? Suddenly, from nowhere, a bottle rocket of Faygo lands on the drone cops and explodes, coating all of their cameras with gooey, soda-y garbage.
Who could this be?
Multiple colors everywhere, gooing up their joints, unable to move, like ninjas. Clockwork, a hand grabs you, pulls you through a grate and underneath a sewer, and before you know it, you're being led down hallways and paths. It's dingy. There's a bunch of people. It's kind of weird. You don't quite know what you're looking at.
Yep.
You hear the sounds of a chair. You see a wrestling match going on in the background. There's chains hanging.
Unexplained magnets on the walls.
And and before you know it, you're brought before the throne as two gentlemen stand up with their rags, but lots of big chains hanging from their necks. And they say to you, with their faces painted, "Welcome to the Resistance." Whoop, whoop! Because Shaggy 2 Dope and Violent J
have discovered a manner in which to defeat technology.
Preemptively, before facial recognition has a chance to take us over, the Insane Clown Posse's facial makeup, the Juggalos, are in fact the Resistance because they cannot be recognized by any future tech.
Which is really crazy because I was talking to
Whoop,
people.
fucking whoop.
I didn't think that was all that special until I discovered that those things can see through almost every type of makeup you could throw at them.
Anything.
Except for the Juggalo mask.
So here we are. This is what it was all about.
The Dark Carnival is a warning to the future.
Clown World is our only salvation. This is how we fucking do it. The attempt to dropkick Fred Durst was in fact a warning.
Yeah.
It was to let us know.
ICP champion shit wrestling was training.
Yes.
To fight off the future riot cops.
Something about Fred Durst that we don't know yet. He's gonna sell us out. Something about him.
Oh, dude, Fred would totally sell us out in a second.
He sold himself out. He's gonna sell us out too.
They're gonna
keep rolling.
When they roll into your neighborhood,
roll into the bread lines.
When they roll into your neighborhood with the pacification squad,
yes, keep rolling.
It will be blasting rolling from the fucking truck.
100%. They were absolutely warning us, but this is what it is. And the Faygo grenades are the only substance sticky and shitty enough to keep them at bay.
We are living in the most bizarre timeline. I don't know when it happened, but at some point ICP went from scary and trashy to kind of wholesome.
I think
so.
Two things happen. Three things. One, the Jesus.
Yeah,
right?
the Jesus.
But two,
that was the secret.
the classification as a gang / cult
Yes.
by the FBI led a lot of people to be like, man, what the fuck? I just come out, I get drunk, my girl, she's pregnant, and we just walk around shirtless, and we drink Faygo, and it's all about the love.
It's all good time, man.
It's all about the love. What's the problem with that, you know? And basically...
the man says that's a cult.
There's a whole... And there's a whole like thing where there's documentaries that people went in and started filming and whatnot, getting into the world of the Juggalos. Because seriously, if you're kind of that kid in that with that face paint, that you're the only one in your town, and you're doing it, and you're unapologetically, well, we want to know what's going on. Are you okay? Are things okay? How's it going? You know,
This looks scary.
Yeah, and I think that basically that sort of isolation and the fact that there was the classification and they were like, we want to fight back against that image, kind of turned it into more of a just, nah, man, it's all cool, but yeah, wrestling.
Miracles.
Exactly. And you know, wrestling and Faygo and random acts of comedy where...
And we've mentioned it on this podcast before, but never forget big money rustlers.
Never forget big money rustlers. Also, it's all love. It's all love as long as you don't bring Tila Tequila around. Because the moment that you do
is
that
she
love,
in that, or is there a feud there?
She's not, but she came to she came to a gathering one time, and at that gathering, she was not very welcome. And so the way they let her know that she was not welcome was by throwing not Faygo,
yes,
but feces.
Oh yes,
on her.
Yes,
on stage.
That's a cult.
So don't do it.
Isn't Tila one of those people that got famous because she was hot, and then it turned out she's fucking crazy?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, something like
just
that.
Absolute to the wall fucking crazy.
Like I think it was like one of those things like hilarious in like Vine-sized clips.
Yeah.
And then a reality TV.
Then you just film them for more than 1 minute.
A reality TV crew rolled in and went, oh no. And then the world kind of found out more. But yeah, they pelted shit at her, dude. It's kind of fucked.
That's pretty funny.
So yeah, and I've heard stories too of other comedians that are like, you get invited to the gathering because it's a gig. It's a paying gig. You come out to the fucking...
So a clown Woodstock.
You know, exactly. And like, if you can win them over, then you got fans for life that are...
Loyal fans.
That will always have you in there and will always support you and do absolutely... They fucking die for you, right? But you gotta get past that initial funk. Mm-hmm. And you know, and if you can, then like, yeah, it's all good. But some comedians don't make it. They come in, they try, they don't really know how to play it, and it just it ends in tears. And Tila, I think, was one of those acts.
Yes.
So,
wait, she was a comedy act?
I think she came in as a personality / comedy act.
Jesus Christ!
I think so. I'm not 100, or maybe she was singing a song. I don't know.
You know what? Any of those are just. Nah.
Either way, it resulted in her getting Silence of the Lambs, you know, and that ain't a good time. Hey,
man.
This is an audio podcast.
It is an audio podcast, and we're fresh back from RTX.
However, if you clicked on this podcast, you should have seen something new.
Yes, that's correct. With your eyes.
We got a new logo.
Yes, we have a new logo. It's got a big C on it, and it's fancy looking. I like it.
We unveiled it at RTX at the panel, which will be attached to the end of this mini...
Yeah, you're just going to staple it to the end there.
This is a mini podcast. It's going to be a short one.
We're going to skim through it.
And then we're going to stick that panel at the end of this one, and you'll get to hear 2 mini podcasts, and that'll be that.
Yep.
That'll be that. It's different. It's a C. It's also like a... beast.
It's also like a Contra / Castlevania logo. 2 things that I love.
Yep. It's got the wolf dragon super beast looking thing.
I think my favorite part is the Rooster Teeth people helped us with this logo.
Yes.
They threw it at their art nerds.
Yep.
And the art nerds threw 15 logos at us total.
Yeah.
And at every part of the process, they give you 5. Okay, you want to work on this one? And me and Wooly picked the same one every time. This is fate. This is a faded logo.
Pretty clear cut. And you know it's not lazy because all the S's are different, even though there's 3 of them.
Yeah, you could have done it the same, but you didn't.
So that's how you know it's designed. Well, anyway, so yeah, we are back from Austin, Texas, and
Austin's hot.
Fortunately, yeah, we dodged the heat wave here in Montreal, but Austin is still, in fact, quite hot.
It's in Texas.
And the timing was pretty all right, too, not just in terms of the heat wave, but also in terms of the fact that not a lot of things happened this week anyway.
Yeah.
So I feel like, we kind of went over our weeks in brief in the panel.
Yeah.
And then we took some live emails, quote
Yes,
unquote,
we did.
In which the
So we skip all your emails this week. Fuck y'all.
Including the we'll see.
Fuck them.
But we were also granted from Austin these hats.
So we got to give this is a shout out portion of the podcast.
1313,
Mattman1313, the Mattman1313, big fan of all of our streams for a long time. Wooly is wearing his now. It is a big-ass cowboy hat with his logo on it.
I do, in fact, have my horses in the back.
Mine and Paige's are at home because I felt like too much of an asshole coming over here with it on, as mine has my head logo in the forehead.
You gotta commit.
And Paige's has a upside-down McDonald's arches for McDonald's for women.
You gotta commit. I would have worn this out into the streets.
We also got
for transit.
We also got new merchandise.
Yes,
which will be available to you shortly. A Wooly Versus and a Pat Stares Hat shirt. Big thumbs up. Which I spilled a bunch of chicken wings on last night.
Beautiful.
And then this morning, after I put it in the wash, I spilled half a can of Red Bull on it right before coming out here.
That is authenticity.
Which is why I fucking sent you that text saying I was going to be 15 minutes late, because it looked like I pissed myself from my nipples.
Oh, that's fucking great.
So my shirt is ruined. The shirt that I brought, the one shirt that I grabbed off the rack, I have destroyed it.
Fantastic. Yee, and I cannot emphasize this enough. Ha. But
more shout-outs. Mattman1313 for those wonderful hats. Everybody that we ran into.
Yep, yow!
I want to give a big shout-out to our new friend over at Rooster Teeth, Fareed, who helped us find things and helped us out at every opportunity.
Yes.
Very nice man.
And
also short like me.
Yes, Fareed is very cool. And we got to hang out a little bit later because you guys left a little bit before we did. So, also, a huge shout-outs to Austin Eruption for showing us around town.
Yelling at me from his car, scaring the piss out of me.
Taking us to some queso joints. Putting some tacos in me. Getting me all fed, full of the good shit. Yep. And he took us to a cool board game bar, which had literally, there was a bookcase that opened to a secret room.
Oh, come on.
That was private reserved. And we got to play some games in there. And, yeah, Fareed came and hung out. So we got to have some good times playing Secret Hitler.
When you were not around, and I was hanging out with my buddy MegZ71, love you, buddy, who plays 14 with me, we went to Austin's Museum of the Weird, which had a totally real Bigfoot encased in ice that was super real, I promise.
Encased in ice.
Encased in ice. It was on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries 40 years ago. Did you know that? But more importantly than everything in that museum is bullshit. Except for, I believe his name was Johnny T-Rex, a sideshow artist that I went to see, who gave us a hell of a show. His name is Johnny T-Rex because his front arms, yes, his arms are significantly underdeveloped and end at essentially the elbow, and his hands are all gnarled. But he has a great attitude, and more importantly than that, he is immune to electricity. And hooked himself up to a car battery with us, and then walked around the room zapping the shit out of people with his knuckles.
Would you say that he was keeping Austin weird?
He was keeping Austin weird, and in fact, in the gift shop for this place, it said "Keep Austin Weird," which I thought was a fucking joke.
I don't know why you thought it was a joke.
Because it's stupid. Because it's fucking stupid. Having your actual phrase for your hipster city being "Keep the City Weird" is fucking dumb.
It's their, like, it's, what do you even call, like, not gentrification, but, like,
hipsterification.
Like, no, but that's already gentrified.
Yeah.
So it's then once it's
anti-normie
it's like after, like, keep it gentrified, or I don't know, whatever.
I don't know.
Keep it
Austin's
weird. Don't normalize
weird.
it.
It's a weird place.
Yeah.
We also went to
Beach
that
City weird.
wonderful party, which I bailed out on early because there was loud music, and that made Pat nervous.
You used the extent of your extroversion power
Yeah.
to its limits.
I was there for 2 hours and 40 minutes of 3 hours.
Yeah. See, I have a style switch button.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Well, the fun part is that me, Paige, and Punch Mom went down to the industry event that all the industry people would be at, and I walked in and I immediately pulled out my phone and went, "Wooly, where the fuck are you? This place has loud music. Get over here."
Yeah.
And you showed up not too long afterwards.
Yes. Because I was checking out the local FGC, which over in Austin, there's two places. There's Arcade UFO, which was used to be run by Fubar Docs. Shout out to that place. They're holding it down. They're a little corner. Lots of good fighting game machines and rhythm shit. And then Star 69 Garcade, which is the garage arcade.
Oh man, that's fucking. I love that.
Yeah, and
that's weird.
Yeah, and they had a Samurai Showdown tourney going. So I'm like, I'm gonna go support this local and see what's up to the people. Mm-hmm. But yes, I eventually got there later.
So unfortunately for Wooly, once he had gotten there, we'd run into many folks. We'd run into Chris and Jam and Sand Unicorn, and I forget two other people's names. I feel like such an asshole. But more importantly than that, by the time you had arrived, our new friend Jam and One Peach Saliva had been able to imbibe alcohol, which led to, I think Jam asked the question, who would you rather fuck, Spider-Man or Batman? I'm telling this story. You're not getting away from it. Now, everyone in the entire group said Spider-Man, except for Wooly.
Okay, look.
Who said, you can't do that. He's a high school kid.
Okay, look. Before the options even got laid out, I simply brought to everyone's attention that Tom Holland, not in real life, but in the Peter Parker character, is a middle-aged, middle teenager. So I'm like, I don't know whether that's, I don't know which teen that is, but it's probably not legal teen.
So in America, so you can be 18 in high school.
You might need to get in the jail. Yeah, you see, I'm also not used to high school meaning 18.
Because here you can't be 18 in high school unless you're a dumb fuck.
Here high school means 16 at most.
16, 17 and a half when you go to college.
Is the last year. So I'm just like, that is possibly the jail.
Jam and Paige took offense to this and decided to tell Wooly that Spider-Man is 18 and began to cracker dance at him.
That's a good way to put it.
While pushing you into a corner, yelling 18-year-old Spider-Man at the top of their lungs.
Yes.
For, I want to say 20 minutes.
Yeah, longer than that.
Okay, because you tried to get away. I saw you sliding against the wall.
Yeah. Well, okay, at that point it just became a hilarious bit. Yeah. And we just kept it going.
Ultimately, sorry.
No, but ultimately, like the all pretense of seriousness in that discussion ended the moment it was like, okay, what if we slide that age up? You know.
And my favorite part is that when I told Paige about this later, because her memory sucked ass, I was like, you know that like Troy Baker was like 10 feet behind you,
right there,
and moved away due to the commotion you two caused.
In fact, I saw it happen.
Didn't get to meet you. You're very handsome. I liked your hair. Apologies. That's on us. Spider-Man is 18.
However, I am happy to say that our shirts next to each other all sold out.
Yes.
And that was really awesome of everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Made a huge impact, clearly, for the first possible event that they could be sold at. And later on, I saw that, the Troy and Nolan shirts like totally crushed it too. So our entire wall with their stuff.
That whole batch of recruitees got the same rack.
We were exactly. So their stuff and then our stuff right next to it. Like that whole wall just became like, let's just put some posters for sale here because there's no shirts left. Yeah. So that's the best possible outcome.
I also want to give a shout out. Pleasure to meet Peach Jars, Icy, and Alec.
Yep, that was fun.
And
that's a hot Morgan.
Almost more than anyone else.
Cammy, excuse me.
I appreciate meeting Skull God.
That was quite nice. That was quite nice.
Big surprise.
Yeah, Skull and Wool from the Discord. The Wool shows up every week when we do our fighting games. Skull is fucking Skull. And he came in and after getting, you'll hear it. Whatever, you'll hear
he's in there.
It's almost a spoiler that we
knows how to bust someone's balls.
Oh yes, that's how it goes every time. Every time he's given a microphone, so I'm not even surprised. But whatever, that's spoilers for the actual.
We'll get to that at the end of this podcast.
But I was highly amused by the receipt I was given, the invoice I was given after the panel for Overwatch training, Titanfall. Carrying,
Apex carrying,
just crushing.
Wait, he gave you a physical fucking receipt?
Like he handed me an invoice printed out for all the costs that were incurred. I think the total was around $500,000.
Yeah, that's about right.
For crushing you in a public manner on stream,
that, yeah.
And multiple things. So yep, that was well played. To him, I say hearty fuck you and howdy do. And fuck you, Mothman, too. Just cause I know you're in on it. Because I know he's in on it.
He's in on it.
He's probably in on it.
Because I'm having a good time with Mothman. Mothman sent me a genuinely super heartfelt DM yesterday. It's like, I'm having so much fun with 14. This is the best game. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm the best.
Fucking Mothman. If Skull's up to some shit, he's not far behind.
You know what? I want to give a shout out to someone whose name we never got. I want to give a shout out to kind of skeezy looking guy with sunglasses that we met in the barbecue joint, who upon seeing a Get Smoked hat just handed off his vape full of weed to us.
That's true.
No questions asked, had no idea who we were, just here you are, sir.
Yep.
Madam actually gave it to Paige.
That's Austin. That's Southern hospitality there, I suppose.
Which led to Wooly holding a pile of drugs on a fucking American street corner.
No. Pat took it from Paige and then said, "Here, Wooly, can you hold this?" I was like, "Sure." And he's like, "Okay, now step back a little bit." And then it's like, "Okay, great." And then he pulled his phone out and I was like, "Yes, he's right there, officer."
Hey, just trying to do my civic duty.
Shit. Austin, you have a serious problem.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you're going to fix it, but it's kind of fucked up that you've basically taken the whole public bike system thing to the next level by including these little fucking scooters, which, again, we're going to get into a little bit into the actual second half of things. And they're these scooters, they're electric, so you don't have to pedal them or like push. They just power and go. But when they run out of juice / when your time is up, you just fucking leave them wherever they are.
Yeah, just turn them in a litter.
And people apparently get paid to come back and charge them up on their USBs and put them at the stands on a volunteer basis, which means no one's fucking doing it, which means the entire city is just littered with the graves and fucking corpses of scooters.
I thought you were exaggerating when you first told this story later in the podcast. And then I walked around more. I must have seen like 600 of them.
It's a complete mess.
Just piles of them.
And I've never seen
the largest item of litter that I've seen thrown around everywhere.
And I've never seen so many people that live there universally reviling it. Like absolutely everyone I asked about it makes that face like, God, fuck, you saw them, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because they're new. They're about a year and a half old.
Keep Austin weird.
Everyone is super pissed, and apparently some people take it to the extent of grabbing them and throwing them in the fucking river.
There was that river next to our hotel that
where the bats fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were some turtles in there. I don't know if you saw.
I didn't.
They were cute.
But yeah, you totally had people that were like getting so sick of seeing them and tripping over them walking.
People in the chat are saying they're coming here.
To Canada?
To here.
To Montreal?
Yes.
That's insane.
Well, see, here's the thing.
I can't.
That won't work here because people will steal them and melt them down.
I mean, that's a possibility. I can't see them coming here simply because I feel like the residents of the city would be way too violently upset at them being everywhere, right? There's so much about this. There's an entire section of this city that is dedicated to preserving its antiqueness.
Yes.
Right? and it's literally it's a part of the city where you can't build new buildings.
You can barely renovate old ones
because it has to stay as rustic as possible.
Stay old because it's the part of the city that never burned down. It's
horse
180,
carriages
whatever
are drawn through it. You know what I mean? Like, we're so fucking on top of this level of like making sure the city's aesthetic is proper. And we have festivals every summer that like bring in like tons of people.
Like that Five Roses factory can't get torn down.
Yeah, that thing it's empty. It's an empty building, but it's an icon, so they keep it up and they keep the power on.
Yeah.
Right?
To nothing.
The city pays for that sign to stay on.
Because you know why? Because there's a picture of it in the airport. So now you can't change it.
That's it, right? So I feel like I mean, like I have to go. I haven't heard of it coming here, but I feel like that will not last. People will fucking
either that or
riot.
The Verdun Aqueduct is about to get super crowded with bullshit.
There's no way Montrealers are gonna take that, man.
They will take it, and they'll hoard them in their backyards. Because bike theft is outrageous in this city. Can you imagine if there's just scooters around for people to take?
Like, we have every year an anti-police brutality demonstration.
You mean the celebration of police brutality?
Which is in fact a celebration of police brutality, because literally it is a bunch of people getting together and saying, yo, let's fight cops day.
I almost got caught in it last year.
Yeah, I remember. Every time.
Like every year, every couple of years you forget.
I was going to play video games and then suddenly a troop of people sprint past me and I look behind and the wall of cops is rolling in like Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm going to be on the sidewalk and hold my video game arcade stick in my hand and make it very clear that I'm going to video games, and it was fine because it's very clearly.
Hello, officers.
If you are participating, you are in the street with the outfit on. You look like you're doing Watch Dogs.
You take your goddamn hat off.
Yeah. So, anyway, I don't see that lasting if they ever come here at all. Or, at the very least, I see it being something where they have their dedicated exit points, and people will bring them there. I can't imagine people just dropping them around.
Because you can't have them dropping them around, because then when the hockey game happens, too many people will have easy window smashy items available.
Oh, fuck.
Think about that.
Yeah, think about the burning cop car.
Yeah.
That's
we get one every year. Mm-hmm. Every year. The city designates one cop car kind of running down thing, and they put it next to the fucking Molson Center.
They get
the Bell Center.
They get the oldest car on the force and just like wheel it out there as the fucking bait, just because they gotta lose one. Anyway, so that was that. RTX, pretty fun.
Yes.
That was
enjoyed.
Yes, that was a big Rooster Teeth. Lots of Rooster Teething was done, and there was I kind of didn't know what to expect in terms of like how generalized it was going to be. I was kind of wondering if it was going to be like, this is pretty much like an anime game con, except it'll be about RT stuff. And it's like, no, it's much more specific to RT stuff.
It's hyper specific.
Because there's so much of...
And specific days were allotted to types of content.
Yes, and lots of podcast recordings and such. But there was a big old stage for that Mortal Kombat, and that was fun. Because, on day 2, after we wrapped up with our signing and our panel and stuff, it was then my job to go hang out and do the commentaries, which, if you didn't catch it live, is archived on the E-League Twitch stream. And I saw there was some confusion because there's people in the chats that were, like, not sure, like, why I was popping in and out on commentary so frequently. And it was because I wasn't the dedicated commentator. I was the dedicated hype man for Dragon, who crushed it and got to grand finals, and on the last game, reset the bracket, and then last round, final fucking hit, like, managed to not take that because Gur was so good. But his Cetrion did really well. And I did some MK commentary. Sejam was there. A lot of really good players were there for of the NetherRealm games, and it was a really fun Saturday event. I was really happy that this RTX had a big old fighting game thing in the middle of it.
Yes.
That made it very comfortable and fun for me.
Look, here's the woolly zone. It's cordoned off.
Yep.
Just so.
It was quite enjoyable. Not to mention there was that, like, Geico Gaming section that had like some Tekken running too. So
really, Geico?
Yeah, the Geico Gaming had Tekken and Soul Calibur running. So I'm like, all right.
Thanks, little lizard man.
No complaints there. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, let's just do a little mini week. You know,
I later on in the podcast, I'm going to talk very, very, very briefly about 14, and expansion's good. That's my thoughts. There was one thing that popped into my mind, of course, as soon as we were done with the panel, and it cracks me up. Do you remember 2 weeks ago we were talking about villains? Who is your favorite type of villain? Who is like, dude, just let me win.
Yep.
If you let me win.
Yep.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, a lot of people guessed correctly as to who I was referring to.
Yeah. 14's primary antagonist this time around is that, and makes a really strong argument. And yeah, if you just let him win, everything would probably eventually be fine, except fuck off. And it's really, really compelling as a result. As for that, nothing else on my fucking week. I saw the last episode of JoJo, which is not the last episode of JoJo.
It is not.
People lied.
No one lied. They announced that the last episode was going to be a double special because of the cancellation of the
baseball.
It's not. I don't know if it's baseball this time, but whatever. Some shit was pushing it up.
But I gotta say, it is astonishing to me, because I had not read this part of the manga, that if somebody hadn't gotten called out like a bitch, they totally would have gotten away with it. If only someone didn't get called out so hard.
Notice that a repeating theme in almost every part is like the hubris that comes from the bad guy more or less having it in the bag, but then having a moment where it's like, use a bitch.
Hubris. Bam.
And then they go, you calling me a bitch? And they're, ooh, and then they get...
That was a fatal mistake.
That's it. That happens more than once. It's good times.
Yeah, it totally does, doesn't it? You're right. That's it for my week. Check out the later staple part of the podcast.
Right on.
How about you, Wolves?
Okay, well, I talked about RTX. I talked about UFO. I talked about Star 69 Garcade. What else was there? I mean...
By UFO, do you mean birds?
No.
This is a bit off topic, but have you caught up with the new chemtrail?
Are you talking about the one that I told you about?
Wait, was it?
Birds aren't real?
Damn it. You did tell me about that.
Yes.
I saw a billboard of it recently.
Yes, I told you about birds aren't real.
So did you hear about it?
So, anyway.
All right, you win this round.
Yep. Hey. I'd be interested to go check out Spider-Man 2. I wanna know what you think. There's some fun stuff in it. Mysterio is handled in a really fun way, and it's a classic. Like, okay, take this villain. What's the original Mysterio about? Oh my god, it's fucking lame.
Yeah, how do we
fix this? And then they do a good fix.
Yeah. Same thing with Vulture.
Exact same thing with Vulture, exactly. Like good character, good motivations, good stuff going on. And Jake Gyllenhaal doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
I keep fucking it up with, is it Gyllenhaal or Gyllenhaal?
Whatever.
Okay, well.
You see him slamming Tom Holland in an interview about his name? Mm-hmm. Did you see that?
No.
Okay, so...
I did see him getting all excited about Sean Paul, though.
Okay, so Jake Gyllenhaal is like, they're reading a question, and the person has like an alliteration in their name, has lots of L's.
Yep.
He goes, wow, oh man, my name's got a lot of L's in it because I'm Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Yeah.
So I respect anybody with multiple consonants in a row. And Tom Holland goes, I have 2 L's in my name. And he goes, yeah, whatever. And just completely ignores him.
Yeah. It's like that skit on SNL where it's like the pirate skit. And then they're like, we'd like to welcome our guest, Peter Sarsgaard. Arr. And then they have this interview, and they just try, and the whole thing is just, he goes like, did you just invite me on because my name is Sarsgaard? And does this skit only exist because you're pirates that want to say my name?
Yeah.
And they're like, nar.
That reminds me. I want to give a shout out on behalf of Paige and my friend Max Z. There was a pirate cosplayer on the RTX floor who was playing a gay pirate, selling pamphlets of his gay pirate fan fiction.
Wow.
Called Seaman on the Poop Deck.
I saw him.
Yeah.
I saw him.
I read, both of them bought it. Of course Paige bought it. She grabbed it immediately.
I overheard him selling it as hard as possible.
He was selling it super hard.
To a crowd of people that were standing around.
Right?
Yeah.
I read some of it. It's really good.
Okay.
So if you see this man at a local convention, you go talk to him. It's a trip.
Okay. Is this part 7?
Yeah. No, it's part 9.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Understood. Yes. What? Oh, yeah. So anyway, yeah, that was done really well. And there's like, so ultimately, I think where Far From Home is going to fall in is going to fall in to the middle to the lower deck of the MCU movies, because I feel like I wouldn't call it great, but it has cool stuff in it.
Yeah. So it's just like Far From Home.
It has
no, just like Homecoming.
Well, I enjoyed Homecoming more because I liked the introduction of like new young Peter in a way, like the novelty of like, oh, he's not the same age as every other like character in this MCU world right now.
Yeah, he's 18.
Is a one that I like. Like, there's a novelty to that where I'm like, okay, yeah, and like they remind you of that so heavily in like the crucial moments. And this time around, it kind of feels like outside of like the main stuff with Mysterio, they kind of just bumble around Europe.
Is there anything in Far From Home as good as the talk in the car? Because that scene like stood out to me as probably my favorite thing out of all the Marvel movies.
There's the equivalent in the sense that it's the best thing that this character does.
Okay.
Right? Like, in terms of like the strength of that moment in all of the Marvel movies, there's nothing like that. But there is this is a really defining moment for Vulture. This is a really defining moment for Mysterio.
Got it.
There's a really good one like that. And I would say there's some others. They definitely go like really wild with the post-credit stuff.
Everybody coming out of this movie just started yelling at me that the post-credits thing is a big goddamn deal.
There's some wacky stuff that they do with the post-credits, and the less I say about it, the better for those who haven't got it yet. So, but like big, but don't think too hard about it.
Wacky,
it's not like a Deadpool 2, like, oh, this makes the fucking movie.
Yeah, well, that's not fair,
because that no one will beat the Deadpool 2s. But yeah, I feel like outside of that main stuff, there's some bumbling, and then there's stuff where you're like, you're like, oh man, you're smarter than that. Like I find myself saying that more than once, and
we're in this weird place where like we're just like comic books is when they're all written by different writers. Characters that were really smart over here are maybe not as smart over here.
But you got to do that to make story happen. Yeah. Sometimes. But anyway, beyond that, go see it. Go and whatever, we can go in on further details. But that's it. I checked that out, and I guess. yeah, I'll talk about this. So here everyone can thank Skull God and Wool and some of the other guys I went out for drinks with for this one, but I played Dota Underworlds.
What the fuck is that?
That's the Dota auto chess game.
Oh, that's the Dota auto. I don't know what the auto chess is.
I read about the auto chess that week when the story happened.
What is the auto chess?
The auto chess is the new mod of the mod of the mod.
I know that, but what do you do in the auto chess?
The auto chess is where you pick your units.
Yeah.
And you basically use coins to. Okay, so every match has, I don't know, maybe like either 12 or so players. And what you do is you have rounds where you start off with a little bit of gold, you buy some units, and the units automatically fight on their own.
Okay.
You don't control them, you just place them on the board.
Got it.
And then they will go towards whatever aggroes them in their range and then fight. Whoever is left alive gets gold, can buy some power-ups and or items to put on their units.
Yeah.
And use the gold to create to level up and buy more units.
Okay.
So you want to basically start
So
with...
this is Counter-Strike Lords of Vermilion.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
but
you know what Counter-Strike is?
I know what that is.
Lords of Vermilion is a Square Enix arcade game that functions in an incredibly similar manner. You place fucking things on the board and they roll around.
And they do automatic. They do it automatically.
Yeah.
Okay. So the only thing you're really managing is what unit you're buying, and like units have synergy with each other.
Sure, they do.
So you want to focus on that, and then you can spend gold to sell to buy new units, to buy like items to put on them.
Yeah.
Whatever. But for the most part, it's auto chess. They just fight.
This is the new hotness.
It seems to be. Now, I remember when I heard about the premise of it, I was like, that sounds interesting. What exactly does that look like? Right? Because that definitely is a new, like, don't think about it, just click the things and watch it go.
Yeah.
You know, kind of progress quest sort of game. And ended up talking a bit more about it over some beers. And I was like, okay, my curiosity will lead me to actually take a peek at this. And I played it a bunch just like on the plane back.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to go into these other auto chess games and see how they stack.
This is a weird-ass new genre.
It is a weird new genre, and it is the most weird way to approach MOBAs, which is to not approach them at all, but to come at them sideways from the mod off of them into its own new thing.
That's MOBAs. MOBA mod.
So I know that there's this one. I know that there's TFT for League of Legends.
Yeah.
And then there's the actual other original company's thing that they're making, the auto chess core game or whatever.
This makes me feel old.
Guess what? From now on, the new hotness will always be a mod of the old hotness.
Okay.
This is how games are going to go from now on.
Monster Hunter's not a mod of old.
It's
actually just old.
I feel almost like it's like there was never going to be a brand new concentrated effort that'll take over. It's always going to be something that is somewhat similar to what you were just hooked on, except with a new crazy twist.
You like New Coke.
But that didn't take off.
Yeah, it didn't.
So, like, if someone takes Fortnite and spins it a little bit
to pornography,
but it's like if there's like no, because that's not gaming. But
you don't know.
But anyway, like if there's mods, I don't know Fortnite. There's no mods for Fortnite. No. But if it ever started allowing mods as a thing, and people started making their own modes and whatnot, we would find what the new hotness is, because everyone that knows Fortnite, that knows those characters in that style, would be interested in. Yeah, there are characters.
Are there?
There are.
Are there?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
There are people that have a certain look that
like
look like the Fortnite. Anyway, people would go like, I know that. Like, remember Zerg football?
No.
Oh, that was a huge deal back in the day. Zerg football was a thing. I used to play Zerg football.
How come it didn't catch on?
I thought it caught on, but it never caught on massive. No.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. But anyway, I just think, John Wick's in it too. That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I feel like
floss.
We're going to be looking at mods as the new major takeover things.
It's been like that for a while.
Yeah.
Like since 99?
I guess it's never going back.
Because Counter-Strike was the first one that I can remember that was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever going to go back.
Okay.
I think it's like the easiest bridge to something new is like when you're sort of connected to,
because even PUBG, right?
The assets.
Remember Battle Royale popping off?
Mm-hmm.
PUBG is a mod of DayZ, is a mod of Arma.
Sure.
And Arma's a thing that existed, and Arma was not hot.
I mean, even Minecraft, it's like some things are just like, it's the
That's
thing,
Legos, man. That's a model Legos.
It's the thing you already know, except it's with Minecraft assets.
Wow.
And now it's like suddenly I care. Now that Rainbow Dash is in front of that tank in Tiananmen Square, this picture resonates with me. For the first time, I understand it.
Like, every time you mention that, I take damage. That's the worst. That's the worst.
Anyway, yeah, so that's
it. Wasn't in Tiananmen Square in that image. It was something way worse.
Okay.
If you remember.
I thought it was.
It's them it was them in front of the fucking train at Auschwitz.
Oh, yeah.
Now I can understand, because Rainbow Dash is there.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm going to hurl.
Mm-hmm.
You degenerate motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Well, In any case, yep, the auto chess is now in my life, and I'm going to be exploring more of what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
And I will say that, like, I guess these are, like, the characters that I'm using in this one are the Dota regular, like, units and such, right? I assume.
Like Skeleton King? Did you use Skeleton King?
And, like, a Beast Rider and then a Doom Knight.
Did you use Meepo?
No, but...
What about Jinx?
Yeah, I wasn't blown away by that part of it.
Blonde girl from the music video.
The KDA?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mobers.
But this is how Wooly gets in.
You know what the goofiest thing is?
Through not getting in. Through the side door.
I kind of got in with Heroes of the Storm, and that all that did was show me how not in I was. Like, I couldn't tell how big the pool was until I dipped my toe in. Kind of thing.
Well, anyway.
Pat's just saying characters he's heard of? Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't actually...
Like Goku?
And so because this is the type of thing where it's like, ultimately it plays itself, but there is, like, some, like, skill to how you pick your abilities and units.
Yeah.
Then there's just enough for there to be a way to tilt the odds.
This sounds like a fucking slot machine.
It
sounds like a goddamn slot machine.
There's enough to tilt the odds. However, it is also random enough that you don't have to think too hard about it. And it's just fucking...
Feels like a slot machine clicker mode.
It's a goddamn waste of time. And I'm going to find out more.
Yeah, this is interesting.
I'll let you know.
All right, do that.
Also, the mobile version is a fucking buggy mess.
Yeah.
You click on your audio and it crashes the fucking game.
Quite often.
Without even trying, I encountered like at least 20 bugs.
20?
At least 20.
Wow.
Minimum. Every screen there was something wrong with it. But
that's awesome.
Yep. So that shit was pretty rushed out. But anyway,
gotta rush it out because it's hot.
That was the auto chess MOBA mods.
Is this the thing we're gonna do where every 2 weeks one of us tries a genre we're not familiar with and just bounce the fuck off of it?
Well, I never do this.
It's fun, isn't it? Because you're like, weird. It's like putting your hand in that hole in Indiana Jones, and you gotta grab the thing, but you don't know if something's gonna bite you.
Well, you know how they got me, right? How they got me was they're like this one is the better one.
Oh, yeah, dude, fucking
but that one has Yasuke. And I'm like, I like Yasuke.
That's how they get you.
So it's like, if you want to use Yasuke and he's a really good unit,
that's how they get you.
You should go do that one. And I'm like, okay.
You're describing like the entire reason why Fate Grand Order is popular,
or HOTS,
or World of Warcraft. Or I know that thing. I know that thing.
What do you mean, Master Zarya does a fucking dab? All right. Well,
dab
anyway,
on the haters, I guess.
So in the news this week,
let's check out the news
real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
Behold, it is Castle Super Beast's new logo.
That's the big news. News is over.
Yeah. So. Quite frankly, just to throw it, just so that you, in case you didn't catch it in the beginning,
yeah.
It turns out that Juggalo makeup blocks facial recognition technology.
Well, Wooly, that doesn't have to do anything with video games yet.
So you say. So you say. You know, and I remember the days of testing early Kinect, and I remember what that was about.
And Kinect was like, "Who is there?
That's not a person." And I go, oh, that's a Juggalo.
Oh,
yeah. The only way to defeat this future that we're heading for, because hey, you want your phone to fucking recognize you. You don't put a password in it anymore. You just look at it.
Oh, I use my fingerprint.
Oh well, that now you got options.
Yeah,
you got options.
There's so many pictures of my face and very few pictures of the tips of my fingers, so I feel like that's a safer option.
To be honest, what there really actually is here is the setting for a fantasy world where like a whole bunch of resistance fighters are fucking tripped the fuck out in their crazy Juggalo styles.
Jay, Can you get back into game development and make a goddamn Juggalo RPG like Undertale?
Like, the most Watch Dogs thing you could possibly do would be to put the fucking Juggalo mask on and be unavailable and unscannable by anything in the game. Straight up. They'd have to send real eyes out to get you because the scanners
robots
wouldn't
can't
work.
do it.
Be fucking sick. There's actual testing on how far it works and how far it doesn't, like exactly what it takes to throw it off. And there's like these pictures of like Juggalo face paint, and then there's face paint that's more like Kiss, and how like that also works effectively as well. Like they could have taken credit too.
Seems like it's something to do with the black and white.
Right.
Really fucks with it.
Yeah, well, it just because it doesn't really know where eyes are because it's looking for black and white as...
It's not a natural human shade to anyone to have shocking white with dark, like pitch black in weird clown fucking shapes.
Yeah. Like the more extreme it is, the more it can't remotely tell where the face begins and ends. So when the time comes, you know what to do.
Good job, boys.
Bookmark this for the future.
You did it. You know what this means, right? We're going to have to cover the story in 2 years where the facial recognition has now defeated the Juggalo face paint to warn everyone that it's no longer going to work.
Well, now that's when the Juggalos like adopt phase 2.
Yeah.
And then we get like Rorschach style moving fucking masks.
You know what kills me? I don't know how far you got in a Judgment, but there's a character in that game that is like a minor side character, but he factors into the story. Where's Guy Fawkes mask?
Yeah.
It's straight up off the rack Guy Fawkes mask. And as a result, I can't take the character seriously at all.
Yeah.
I just can't.
That thing's... Unfortunately, it's just culturally gone.
Yeah.
It meant V for Vendetta once upon a... No.
You are an asshole.
Yeah. Whatever it meant. Who knows? I don't fucking... remember something? What? But yeah.
You just proved the opposite of your point in 1 second, so congrats.
Yeah. In any case, so there was that. I mean, you know what? I kind of feel like we don't have to say it anymore because there's always going to be a new story that resets the clock in your heart.
That's correct.
You just know which one it is, right? You know that this week you read it and you go, oh yeah, that's a reset.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Even though we never acknowledged or said it, we never had to bring it up until this point.
So what is it? Which one's this week?
Well, quite obviously, it's the one where the Epic Game Store, the repeating story.
This one, I talked to people about this one
stepped
at
up
RTX, and this is the actual worst out of what should be good.
Well, for me, it defines a new limit. So the story is this. Epic is going to now step up to cover the refunds on games like Shenmue 3 after there's backlash from the people that kickstarted it. Because if there's anyone that crowdfunded their game and then Epic buys its exclusivity rights, and people want their money back, if the developer is in a situation like this, they can't afford to give that money back.
Because the money ain't there. But
so,
it is.
So Epic is going to cover those costs as well, which, considering the fact that they're paying for the exclusivity anyway, it's clearly peanuts for them to throw on a few more and just hand it back to the people.
So this should be, good on Epic for throwing even more money at the problem and getting people's refunds. However, on the other hand, this damages Kickstarter significantly because now there is absolutely no threat to any developer at all to do anything that you dislike with the game you kickstarted as long as they go over to Epic, because Epic will just pay to make all the boo-boos go away.
So what this does is, to me, like, it now puts this story that we've been tracking, which is Epic is buying out exclusivities on things that are really upsetting people because they're like, we really don't want to interface with your store.
I didn't kickstart this thing so that I could only buy it on a shitty store.
Well, first it started with, I was excited for this game, and now it sucks to hear that the only place for me to get it on PC is going to be through your store.
Yeah.
Right? And then eventually it became, I spent my money specifically to get it from not
this other place.
Yeah. And in each of those cases, it's always been something where I've been saying this a lot recently because it's been relevant, but the proposition of the profit it's so great.
Oh, I don't behoove anybody who takes this deal because the deal is so stupid good for them.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that people who are behind it don't tell them to fuck themselves.
But with each version of how steep the drop on the roller coaster turned, I always was saying like, well, Epic's taking huge heat on this, but in the end, it's still worth it for them, right? One would assume naturally there is a point at which the negativity is so great that it would not be worth it, and my brain, uninformed as it was, assumed that Epic handing money out to the angry mob would be considered the point at which it was not worth it.
Turns out, nope.
It is still
literally
so worth it.
Throw money out of a helicopter into the crowd.
And what I'm now thinking is it does not matter how upset you get in terms of these games being exclusive. It's still so worth it for them to buy it, no matter how fucking pissed the world gets as a result, because exclusive is exclusive, and if you care, you're probably going to wear it down and go do it eventually, right? That's the thought process.
So this is like another nail in the public perception of Kickstarter and has been for a long time. And this is why I'm mainly pissed at this, because it hurts the potential viability of future decent Kickstarter projects. It has become a thing over the past couple of years where it's like, we need X amount of dollars to kickstart this. Shenmue's a really good example. And then it becomes clear very early on, it's like, that Kickstarter did not pay for that game. That Kickstarter was a demand by a publisher to raise enough money to show that there was value in the thing, and then the publisher kicks in the money to do the thing, and it's like, well, what the fuck am I even kickstarting now?
Yeah,
if it's actually a publisher-owned game or whatever. And this takes it a step further. It's like, if Epic is paying an indie company enough that it can bankroll the entire Kickstarter and refunds for every person and hundreds of thousands of sales for it, why the fuck should I bother to back anything anymore?
Yeah,
Epic should just back them themselves.
Well, that's the thought process. Is there's a couple things that you go into here, right? There's the idea that they exist as an entity in the background, and if a Kickstarter, whether genuine or actually as a fake popularity interest test, is successful, Epic can swarm in and go like, hey, everyone loves this, here, take this.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that anyway, just fucking fund the fucking game yourself.
Now, pre-orders served as an interest test back in the day. Sometimes there was other forms of doing this. Yeah, Kickstarter being used for this is disingenuous and it sucks, and I really don't want people to do that. I really hope that shit fucking curbs and stops. But as long as it doesn't, and as long as like there are like companies that are out there with like a need for more money for the game they're working on, Epic knows they can swarm in and do this. And the idea that this is always possible and they don't care how mad people get about it means that it's not going to go away anytime soon.
Until Fortnite starts to dip. Pretty much.
So it's just worth it for them to go for it. And
do you remember Divekick's Kickstarter?
Mm-hmm.
And how they had a Kickstarter because it was like, hey, we got to put out Divekick. Mm-hmm. And then a publisher expressed interest. Mm-hmm. And then they canceled the Kickstarter. And then, despite that, kept all their backer promises.
Yes.
Wasn't that nice?
That was incredible.
Thanks, Keats.
Amazing.
And gang.
That they reached out and went, yep, we're this is funded, but here's what we promised. And they stuck by it, even though they had no obligations to whatsoever. That was a pretty noble thing to do.
A+.
In this case, it really is kind of wild. And I think this is also interesting because Epic is looking at this in a different way, where it's not the gamble of development from day one on an idea.
No, it's hey, this thing's already proven.
It's already out. It's already proven. We don't have to worry about we don't have to worry about the build-up process. We don't have to put hands in that at that early of a stage and like lose stake early on. It's just once it's ready to go.
This is the worst because back in the day, you would just have Epic buy up 10 studios and then make games for them. And those would be Epic games, and no one would, like, people would be like, oh, bummer, they bought them out. But people are like, yeah, that makes sense because they bought, like, Microsoft does it, Sony does it, like, everybody fucking does it.
It's reverse development in where you're paying for the costs at the end of the development cycle.
And the Epic takes zero risk. You and me take all the risk. And then they go, well, no, there's not that much risk. We'll pay you back. It sucks. Everything about it sucks. Epic Store is a feel-bad store that gives games out more cheaply than other stores sometime. And then you buy it because whatever. And it's a bummer.
The only silver lining is the idea that if the store doesn't suck, then it isn't that big of a deal.
Oh my God, dude.
But we know
the fucking store,
but we know where it's at right now.
It's so bad.
Hopefully
I run all my fucking Epic games through Steam.
Hopefully this moment is not evergreen, and will sound super dated a couple years away from now.
Yeah.
When it's super amazing, and I can't believe
Tim Sweeney's, by the way, is a fucking asshole.
We have a more popular platform than Steam on PC.
You see him tweeting about like how competition in the fucking digital marketplace is great, and he was like retweeting like GOG stuff.
Well, we're looking at a tweet right now of him talking about the Shenmue 3 parts of this, and just basically talking about how Epic is like, we'll guarantee the refunds if necessary, whatever the case is, and just step on in here. It's really interesting to see how far they're willing to go with it, and it's a, the fucking like, oh, bold move, Tom. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I want to give a thumbs up to the Epic Game Store for somehow making a story about giving people refunds a feel bad. That's astonishing.
Yeah, and I feel like as developers too, there's probably going to be people that are like, why didn't you come earlier in this process?
Because we had no faith in you. That's whatever they fucking tell someone in a meeting, it's either we had no faith in you or we literally didn't care about you until your game was about to release and it looked like it was gonna do well. Which I guess is also we had no faith in you.
Because the idea that you're like, this game would not have existed, but Nintendo said, hey, make a Bayonetta 2, but bring it to us. We'll pay for it. You know how to do that, don't you?
Everyone goes, oh, cool. Bayonetta. Well, actually, not everyone.
No, they don't.
The reasonable person goes, oh, cool. Now there'll be a Bayonetta 2.
And a whole lot of unreasonable people bark, and then everyone reasonable goes, what the fuck are you talking about?
What are you guys, fucking stupid?
But it's a very understood exchange.
Yeah.
Between the two. Yeah. So this is a funny one. And here's the thing. Knowing now that this is how far it'll go, like we're literally handing the money back to you because that's how much it's worth it. This story is going to go as far and as deep and as down into the depths as possible, and people are going to get as mad as they want. It does not matter.
There is one thing that doesn't
stop.
Get factored in here, and it's because the deal is too good to not take. The deal that Epic offers you as a developer is too good to not take. You would be a fool to not take it. However, if you take it, what happens is say the guys who made Outer Wilds, that was a Kickstarter game, right?
Yep.
Fuck any future attempt to crowdfund a game from them. Fuck them, right?
Didn't that also blew up due to the Game Pass though? From what I understood, Outer Wilds was one of those games that hit Game Pass
on the Xbox.
Yeah, and as a result of it being like one of the, because they have a whole curation thing they're pushing, and like that was part of what helped people catch its visibility.
Right. So if say like Obsidian, people are mad because Outer Worlds is going to be exclusive, right? But Outer Worlds is a published game. Nobody put a dime into that, so it sucks. But right? If they did that with one of the many games that they've had Kickstarter, fuck kickstarting anything from them ever again, right? And so same thing with Phoenix Point. Same thing with any of the ones that got kickstarted and then got Shenmue. You would be laughably stupid if you gave Kickstarter money to a company or individuals that then took that Kickstarter project and then sold it.
Here's the other thing,
such as Epic.
I mean, again, and this all depends on how much you really don't like the Epic Store. I really don't like it, so I'm willing to go this far. But it's like, this also makes me think back on the story from 2 weeks ago about Sam's show with even fonder light. In the sense that it's like, please support Sam's show.
Apparently it's doing extremely well.
It is doing very well. But it's like, yeah, man, like the you know what I mean? Being in a position where, well, at the same time, SNK has always been a baller. That's not true. They shut the fuck down. But what SNK,
the fuck are you talking about?
I'm saying that like they see themselves as them at their peak.
Yeah.
So they don't see themselves as like a small fighting game company.
As like we're right there with Street Fighter.
We're the guys that were up. We had Capcom versus SNK, remember?
And we're coming back.
Equal footing.
Yeah.
If Capcom versus SNK and Street Fighter cross Tekken, we are on the same level.
The stakes, sorry, the table has been set for a CVS3 next time around.
You know that they feel that way about themselves, and thus they're like, why would we take this deal, right? And us, the audience, knowing a little bit more accurately, like, no, maybe not SNK. Sam's show is pretty cool and popular. Yeah. Maybe not that popular, but okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I'm extra motivated now to be like, yeah, no, they turned him down, and like, that's the fight back.
Our dicks are too big to fit in this store.
That's the fight back, right? At the very least, again, I'm gonna always end it this way, but it's like, if you just fixed it,
just fix the fucking store.
It would be cheaper.
Just make it competitive.
It would be cheaper than this route. This route right here is insanely expensive.
Take the money from one purchase and put it onto the website development right now. One.
The dedication to forcing the sale, but not actually well. Like, how do I imagine if the only place? Do you like chicken parm?
Yeah.
It's pretty tasty.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Imagine if the only place you could get chicken parm was in a sewage fucking hut.
Okay.
You had to crawl through a mile of shit to get to a hut.
A lot of people aren't going to do that for chicken parm.
But it's the only place to get that chicken parm.
Couldn't you just make a door?
Like, there's another setup but it's on a different continent.
Okay.
There's one chicken parm place per continent.
Okay.
And it's all a moat of feces.
Okay.
In 1 mile in all directions.
Oh, that's a big fucking moat.
And it's not, and you don't have to swim through it, but you got to wade because it's at least waist deep.
Yeah.
No boats.
No boats allowed.
No boats allowed. How much do you like chicken parm?
I like it a good bit, but I don't like it that much.
You know, it's like, fuck, man.
What if you have fond memories of chicken parm from your childhood?
What if you actually let people know? You're like, hey, if you guys like chicken parm, we're working on a new recipe, right?
Chicken parm too.
Yeah, if you yeah, and if you buy in now, right, we will deliver
it to your house.
We'll deliver it straight to your house.
Yeah.
You don't have to go anywhere. We got a hot, brand new dish, chicken parm 2, straight to your door as soon as it's ready.
Like, I will totally pre-order that chicken parm.
I'm not eating.
That's delicious.
I'm not eating. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah.
And then you get told, not only is it not coming to your house.
You get a letter in the mail.
But it's
back at the fucking shit mode.
It's in the moat.
Oh man, I thought, oh god, come on.
It's right over there. Just go. What's the problem? Okay, what, you're mad? You mad about the fact that you already bought it? You already Uber Eats the chicken parm?
I did.
Here. All right. We'll give you back your money. Therefore,
I don't want my money back. I want it at my house. You have described a real situation that I've had with Uber Eats, in which the Uber Eats guy is hungry.
Yes.
And takes your food.
Yeah.
Just takes it.
Yeah.
And they go, and it's an hour and a half later before you realize, oh, this guy's just not going to show up.
Or whatever the fuck
And
happens.
you call Uber Eats, we'll be happy to refund you. It's like, I don't want a refund. I want this guy to deliver my fucking food.
Yeah.
I want my fucking food. That's why I'm hungry now.
Or he came up with the bag. There were 2 deliveries. He handed me the wrong one and walked away. Can we just tap him before he goes down to his car, right? And just make him come back up? It's like,
no, he's basically disappeared.
Okay, he's right around the block. I can't chase him on foot, but if you just let me call, he can just come back around and we can swap the bags. No problem. Well, now it's confiscated. You might have taken a syringe and injected it into that person's meal in the meantime.
I had a driver steal my fucking food 3 times in a row I was ordering from a certain restaurant that I do at a certain time of night at, over a period of about a month. And I got this guy every time, and every time he fucking stole my food. And I called him up, and he said, "Oh, I couldn't pick it up. There's cops in the building everywhere, but restaurant's closed." And I go, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, no, you can't get in. It'll have to be 5 minutes. The cops will leave, but then I can go in, but I have to do my other delivery." And then I call the restaurant, and he's like, "What the? That guy's a liar. He just took your food. I just saw him. You're Patrick, right? Yeah, no, he took your food. He's gone. There's no cops."
Like, why even drive up at that point? I guess because the GPS can tell that he didn't drive if he didn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
So they need him to pull up. So he knows he needs to do that at very least. And here's the thing, man. Mom and pop, they need that money for chicken parm too. Otherwise, the restaurant's getting shut down.
Yeah. Chicken parm won't come out. Because they made the chicken. And then they were going to go get the parm, and they realized the parm had too much development time required. And they're like, well, now we're just going to have chicken. We can't do chicken parm. Everyone's going to be mad. Unless we take the deal from the shitmote company.
But then the only place to get our chicken parm is behind the shitmote.
I'm sure people won't mind. Most people won't mind.
But it keeps the lights on.
It keeps the lights on.
We can do something better next time.
Yeah.
But now all the customers are afraid that the next thing you do
will only be at the shitmote.
Because the shitmote paid for the last one.
And they won't crowdfund fettuccine Alfredo too.
Yep.
Turning this into food actually made it a lot clearer. Because it shows how fucking stupid this is.
Guess what?
What?
I also want some chicken parm.
I could go for chicken parm right now.
Yeah.
We've said it too many times in a row. We're right at the cusp of where it stopped being a word on the last one that I said. But I could still go for some.
It's just worth it for them to keep doing it. We know about there's the G2A story.
Oh my fucking god, this thing is unbelievable.
But we already addressed it in the back half.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Did we talk about the fucking
at the panel?
At the goddamn with the
we broke it down and then whatnot. So we'll get into that a little bit later.
Okay, we broke down the emails to the people.
That happened.
Oh, what a bunch of criminal assholes. Don't buy games from G2A. If you don't get to the end of the podcast today, don't buy things from G2A. There's something I'm very comfortable telling you to boycott. Very comfortable.
That's a wild ass story that they'd have somebody responding directly, like a person on behalf of their company. Trying to explain away.
You mean the person that doesn't have a last name and assuredly doesn't exist?
Trying to explain away how they'll totally pay 10 times the amount of lost sales if they can confirm that the keys that they buy are lost.
Wait, but that's not the story I'm talking about. I'm talking about the new one. There's a new one.
Oh, well, this is going to be weird because the new one is going to be on top of the old one.
The new one is about the emails they sent to fucking Game Journal websites. Did you not see this shit?
What happened?
They sent out emails to like 10, 15 fucking... no, they sent it out to 10 in smaller like independent game journalism websites. It's like, hey guys, we would like you to publish an article called how it's pretty much impossible to resell stolen CD keys that we'll write for you. And you just punch it up so it makes it look like it's on your website. And don't say... G2A and don't put our name on the article, and we'll pay you a lot of money as long as you don't tell anybody that we sent it. And I think that indievideogames.com or something told them to go fuck themselves and just posted the email, and everyone told them to go fuck themselves. It was a total strikeout, 0 for 10.
Okay, well now we're talking about it, so we might as well frame the story. Sorry if you're gonna hear it twice.
G2A's Twitter account responded to the original big fucking tweet and said this was sent out by our employee Adrian, no last name, who was acting on his own behalf, not on behalf of the company. We absolutely did not tell him to do this, and he will be disciplined harshly. And we absolutely do not support this kind of thing.
Which is the last part of the meeting after the idea comes together and someone puts their hand up and goes, but what if it goes wrong? What do we do?
Blame it on fictional Adrian.
And then this guy had nothing to do with anything, and he did it
That
on
guy
his
does.
own.
It's not real, Wooly.
Right. Okay.
It's not a real person.
But that's how we how do we get out of it? Yeah, okay, cool. So everything else is airtight? Yeah, okay. Go team. 3, 2, 1, crime. No, so yeah, the precursor to the story, which you're going to hear later, is about the fact that a bunch of developers, including indie developers, are almost at the point where they're like, steal our games instead of buying them from G2A.
Just steal them.
Because G2A
steals our shit for real.
And they take and resell keys from all kinds of dubious sources, and we don't get that money.
Good PR move, G2A. Do two good PR moves back to back.
So looking at the article here, G2A employee tried to pay the press for favorable coverage.
Blatant FCC violation, as well as probably actually criminal.
Yikes! Now that's what I call a fucking yikes.
That's a good PR move.
Okay, well, anyway.
Does no one who sends those things out think for 1 second, what if someone doesn't take the deal?
Think about the website. Think about the business they're in.
Got it.
Think about the nature of how they make their money.
Why would anyone not take the deal? There it is. You'd have to be stupid not to take that deal.
I mean, look how well we're doing.
Yeah.
We can go with feel good stories.
Yeah.
We can lighten things up a little bit.
Yeah, let's lighten things up.
Hey, Netflix is funding a Cuphead animation.
Fucking sick.
I hope it's a silent film.
Yep, it won't be.
I hope that Cuphead doesn't talk and Mugman doesn't talk.
Cuphead, Mugman will talk.
I hope that it's like they do things and then it does the silent film thing.
You're
where
crazy.
You get the cards
You're
in between.
fucking nuts.
And I hope that I want there to be a narrator that's like the narrator from Cuphead.
Sure.
But I'd love for it to be very, very old school.
I appreciate your artistic integrity. You are insane.
I don't want to hear them talk. I want to hear them like snapping their fingers and.
I want Cuphead to sound like Mickey
jig.
Mouse, and I want Mugman to sound like ODB.
So Cuphead was picked up by Netflix, and it looks like they're working, of course, with Studio MDHR on a production in the style of the 1930s. We'll see. They said it's a character-driven comedy following the misadventures of Cuphead and his cautious but easily swayed brother Mugman.
Do you like Mugman better? I like Mugman a lot.
I like them both together.
Okay.
I like them both together, I do. Anyway, so that's fun. And we also, what was the other thing we heard from Netflix? What was the other thing?
I don't know, lol.
Something else animation related was announced. It was... Shit. Cannon Busters.
Yeah.
Cannon Busters, that awesome Kickstarter that popped up.
That looks bebop-ish-y.
Is going to be showing up on Netflix as well.
Got robots.
Yeah. I kickstarted that. I got in there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Looks good. So, yeah, that's
Are you
feel
worried
good.
that it's going to go exclusively to the Epic Game Store?
Once we start dealing with, like, not games.
Because Steam sells movies and software as well.
Yeah. But so you think Epic's going to fight Netflix on that?
I don't fucking know. Fuck it. They got that Fortnite money.
They do. But just how much money is Fortnite money?
Yeah, and how much can that possibly last at its current rate? I think that's the thing. I think that's why they're going so hard. They're like, we have the money now, so spend it.
Yeah. I don't think Fortnite money is quite yet at that Netflix money.
Yeah.
I think the comparison between the two is the difference between being rich and being wealthy.
Isn't Netflix broke?
Is that the case? Is it one of the...
Or am I thinking of Amazon? Because I know Amazon's broke.
Yeah. No, so that's one of those situations like the social media stuff where we don't make money on this, but we hold it down because it's more important to not allow competition.
Yeah, Netflix is fucking broke.
No shit.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
So is it one of those situations?
Yeah, it's just like Amazon.
And Facebook and Twitter?
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's not about the fact that this doesn't make money. It's about the fact that we cannot let anyone else take the space.
Because we're the #1 spot, and
we have all the eyeballs.
It's so big that we push other people out of the spot.
We have all the eyeballs.
An opportunity cost for... Capitalism is fucking weird.
So it's all investors?
Yeah, all investors.
Well then, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for my Castlevania series, Rich Man.
Loved it. Turok is back.
Fuck off. It was back twice.
No, but it's back in a new game. Have you seen it?
No.
Turok.
It's back twice.
Turok Escape from the Lost Valley. If you haven't seen this, I think you should see it. Here, let me play this trailer for you.
Oh, you gotta really turn the fucking...
Yeah. Turok is back. Well, we got ads. Okay. Well, it's in a new developer's working on it, of course, and looks like they also worked on a Voltron game. And this is a different genre to the Turok series.
Discover new... What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this Monument Stardew Valley shit?
We are looking at an isometric Stardew Valley ass cute game where a little cute Turok with his big giant head is rolling and dodging from the cute monsters. Turok, Escape from Lost Valley.
Is this the same Turok that... Are these the babies named Turok? These
are the cutest little dinosaur hunters you have ever seen, and they are back.
Why bother with the name? Is it to get this reaction?
Because we're talking about it and now it's a story on the podcast as opposed to nothing.
I'll always remember Turok. You know what my #1 memory of Turok is? Because I never played the N64 games. It's the fact that the 360 game had the worst achievement ever designed in it. It was an achievement where you would get 1 dinosaur kill, 1 enemy kill, and 1 team kill in a single match. And it ruined the game.
That's pretty strong.
It fucking ruined the game right out the gate.
That's pretty strong. So, Turok going in a bold new direction.
Fucking Jesus.
Yeah, it's cute, and it's not just like a mobile thing. It's like, no, this is a Steam thing, and they're doing it. I don't quite know how we got here, but.
We got here the same way we got to fucking KFC Cheetos.
It says that it was born from something called the Universal Game Dev Challenge, which makes it sound like a what do you call it? What do you call it when you fucking gather for a day? A game jam?
Yeah,
it almost sounds like a game jam project.
That they somehow had the Turok license.
And then they just went further with it. But yeah, this is what we're doing now.
Really? Have you seen that fucking KFC Cheetos ad?
I didn't click play.
It's like 2 logos in every bite.
I don't
That's
know.
A real phrase.
I don't get it. I saw the thumbnail with Chester Cheetah holding a tray of burgers, and
with
then
Cheetos in them.
And he had a hat on, and then I almost clicked play, but then I couldn't bring myself to do it.
It's got a bunch of 30-year-olds pretending to be children going, I need something with co-branded flavor. It is the ad apocalypse.
The power of the crab was too strong that day. Silence brand.
We need a bigger crab.
That's a nice out of context. And I guess the last piece of news, because short week. Tell me about this Tennocon.
So Tennocon happened. Everybody did a good job on stage. Thumbs up. Particularly Rebecca with her fantastic fucking...
That's the Warframe, right?
Rebecca?
If people don't know what Tennocon is.
Oh, Tennocon. Yes, it's the Warframe.
Yes, okay.
Oh, yes. It's about Warframe. Rebecca out there with her fantastic low-key, not at low-key, but low-key Dio cosplay.
Barely. Shout outs to not just doing the hand over the face pose, but the finger as well.
Yeah.
Being like, don't fucking look at me. That's accurate.
We got a real fucking snippet into the goddamn, like, how insufferable Rebecca has become on that stage. Because they showed off the Empyrean demo, which was shown off last year's Railjack, the space part. Looks really good. And I think it was Steve was like, oh, what are you going to do? Shove a bunch of JoJo memes in this? In a really tired voice. And then as Rebecca named the demo ship the SS JoJo, there was an audible, like, from, like, everyone. It's like, fucking good job, Rebecca.
I saw the mask.
Just make them... Yeah. She sent me the fucking meme image of all the references she snuck into Tennocon on my Twitter DMs a few hours ago.
Seen it.
And I'm like, I know, Reb. I know. You're doing a good job. But about Warframe, there's a lot of shit in that conference I can't even talk to you about. There's a lot of spoiler mode stuff in there. But there's weird time travel mechanical horse stuff. And they're making a space game out of it now. The Railjack / Empyrean stuff looks a lot more in-depth than we thought. And the biggest thing is that they showed off something called Squad Link, where you're going to have space battles against ships that will link up to people playing in the open world sections to do, like, Battle of Endor stuff. Like, that team of 4 out there is doing a space battle and needs a shield taken down. And you in the open world will get a message to go out and blow up a shield generator on the planet and stuff like that. A lot of commingling space pseudo MMO stuff. Looks great. Looks super cool. That game is getting weirder and harder to define every year.
More references, please.
Yes, please. She got the stone mask in the Duviri Paradox trailer.
Now, the thing with this type of stuff is as it gets more and more official, like, I don't know where it goes, but I sure hope it ends somewhere like suddenly the music for a new trailer or a new area has Tommy singing the vocals.
Yeah, fucking Lotus Juice in the background.
You get the fucking commander himself.
I don't think the tone of that game suits that at all.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
But yeah, Tennocon was cool.
Right on.
Good job on your presentation, guys.
Okay.
Gifts are hard.
So we're gonna take a couple of quick emails.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna switch right over to
the staple,
that RTX podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Which the quality of the audio might be, of course, not the clearest because it was a recorder on the table next to us, and we did our best. So forgiveness.
There's something that Paige and I look at Elmo sometimes, our disabled stupid cat, and one of us will say that he's trying his best, and the other will reply that his best sucks, and that may be true here.
That's fair. That's fair. Also, I apparently have been told some lies about cats that are not true.
Okay, what lies are those?
I talked about them in a recent video. I forget which one.
Okay.
But it was well, there was the studies that were real, and then there was the stuff that wasn't real.
That was fake.
Yeah.
What is your fake news about cats?
Well, the real one was the stuff about them responding to when your owners call you.
Yep.
Right? That story about how, like, they hear you, they just ignore you.
If you had owned a cat, you'd be able to tell that because I say Elmo, and he's not facing me, and his ears turn back to see me.
Yeah.
But he doesn't turn around because he's a fuck.
Yeah. So, and the way everyone kind of summarized it is that, like, they're tsundere, basically.
Yeah, cats are tsundere.
Whereas dogs are more...
yandere.
No.
Yeah.
It depends, right? Some are very just fucking mellow.
Some are most dogs
and
are
some
dairy,
are some are most are dairy. Some of them are fucking yandere. That's true. And what was the other one? The other real one was that cats see you as big cats.
Yeah.
And that they don't actually meow to each other.
Nope.
They just do it to humans.
Meowing is an exclusively human form of communication.
Because they think that sounds like what you guys do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I remember. And then the ones...
So those are real. What's the big lies?
The lies were that when a cat is like stuck with like an owner that might not be alive anymore.
Yeah.
That like the whole thing where they start eating at your body.
Yeah.
The lie was that dogs don't do that too.
Dogs will eventually do that.
And
so will you and I.
And so that
eventually
that was there, and a couple other things in that vein about basically how the cats care a lot less about you than dogs do. And a lot of people more or less wrote into basically be like, that's not true. / they care, but they're just assholes about it.
They're bitches.
Type thing.
So if you do the best excuse for this is that you take those videos of people who record their house, but when they leave the house, and their dog or cat is there, dogs and cats pretty much act almost the same. They don't like it that you leave, and they're happy when you come back.
Yeah,
but cats are dicks. This is accurate.
Yeah, which is why I preface. I believe I preface that this might not be true. I'm not sure the deal. We're talking about this, and we have some time to kill with the microphone in front of me. So I'm going to say the story now.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. What
is the story?
This might not be the... No. I thought it's what I told you.
I thought you were like, so I ran into this cat.
I did. I did meet that racist cat.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Is it unracist now?
Maybe not yet.
It's a hard habit to break.
It might take a while. Like people.
If I was a baby and somebody tried to put my whole head in their mouth, I may have had a bad experience also. That's scary.
And the link, of course, always comes back to the fucking Palico War. When I blasphemed, but I still maintain that I want to.
Dude, somebody made a mod to turn them into dogs, and it looks terrible.
But I don't. But the thing is, also, I don't want a doggo Palico.
Yeah, you want a dog.
I want
just a dog.
Poppy.
Yeah, you want Poppy.
I want Poppy, man. That's so cool.
Dogs don't really exist in Monster Hunter.
That's the thing, and I don't understand what's so hard to understand about why that's so fun. To have a fucking Poppy with a bandana on, and like that's gonna help you hunt the monster. Like it's
because the dog has to have opposable thumbs so he can shoot a gun.
What isn't there a class in, was it Evolve where one of them has a dog?
I don't remember.
There's a class in something. Where it's like someone's tracking with the dog.
There are a shit ton of classes in something that have a dog.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Your standard hunter class or in whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Has dog.
And there's fucking cops. With the fucking robot dog. Yeah.
That show was sick.
It was godlike.
I wish
it was
super
like good. That's all. So it's like if you take the Palico and you mod it so that it has a dog head now.
Fucking bad idea.
That's not the same thing. And everyone kind of went like, "Look, Wooly, it's what you want." And I'm like,
"That's not what I wanted.
I don't want a modded little character.
You don't want some abomination.
I don't want a mascot. I want an actual buddy dog."
Well, Capcom wants a mascot.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Like, but I feel like the wires get fucking crossed on communication.
Maybe in Monster Hunter 6, you'll get a dog. Maybe.
Friender. Going
Poppy.
Fucking Poppy.
Is there another great anime dog that we're forgetting?
Wampo.
Wampo's pretty good. Like Wampo a lot.
Menchie. And you fucking, let's go, Poppy, take on that Rathalos. And it fucking barks, and the Rathalos goes, holy shit, that bark was...
to ash in about half a second.
Well, but then it has a power bark. And the power bark is like an ability that it gets like once every like 5 minutes.
Put Huey in the game. Capcom already has a dog that is strong against monster.
Ein. Iggy. Akamaru.
Iggy's not fair.
All of it.
That's not fair.
right? And then every once in a while, it has a power bark, and it goes fucking woof, 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 and the Rathalos goes, ugh.
Does a flinch.
It flinches.
Yeah.
And then you get right in there with that fucking amplified discharge, you know? I forgot what it's called.
You're pretty close, but amplified discharge sounds like disgusting.
Yeah. You know, you get in there with that charge blade and you lock it in and you...
Super element discharge. Did you see all the shit they gave Charge Blade?
No.
You can power up the axe now also.
Sure.
So you can power up the shield, the axe, and the sword.
Hell yeah. 3 bars.
And they nerfed it. They nerfed Super Element Discharge.
Okay.
Because it was too good. It was busted.
Big woofer buddy.
Yeah.
Bite the thing.
Yeah.
Izuna drop it.
Yeah. Poppy.
Tell me that's not cool.
That's too good.
Everyone who's fucking mad about the Palico thing, tell me that's not cooler than what you have right now. Come on.
Yeah, man. I
don't care how many years you have of Palico attachment inside your soul. You need to look deep down. Look me in the eye. Look me in the eye and tell me
it's funny that you
that a
mentioned
buddy hunting dog with a full moveset that can help you out in Monster Hunter wouldn't be so much cooler than the Palicos you have right now.
Far on the Palico stuff. They went and in Monster Hunter Generations and Generations Ultimate, you had a new weapon class called the Prowler, which was you could play as your Palico, and it sucked ass.
No, it's not.
It was technically better than all the other weapons, but felt like shit to play and was just awful to be in a party with. So they removed it.
Like, is it Chad? Is it because it's cute? Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that why?
The other reason is more people own cats than dogs. Because cats are easier to take care of because they can hang out in the house by themselves.
But take that part of it and now hold that over here. And let's look at the part where you're a hunter.
The other thing is the dogs...
You're hunting wild things.
Dogs have an incredibly gigantic variety of size and type, whereas most cats look like cats. So all you got to do is swap the fur texture on them.
Yeah.
Do you want a Newfoundland? Do you want a Rottweiler? Do you want a Golden Retriever? Do you want a German Shepherd? Do you want a Doberman?
Yeah, you got to build that.
Those are all just big dogs. They're all very different.
Do you want a Tabby?
Do you want an Irish Wolfhound? Do you want a dog that's not real, but it looks big?
Yep.
Like the Mabari from Dragon Age.
I mean, to be fair, the big floofy type fucking cats look super different from
but you know what I mean,
the mangy
right?
street ones,
like almost fluffy, and then there's cats that are just skin.
Yeah.
But they're still the basic. They're still the basic shape.
Yeah.
There's dogs that don't have the same shape. A pug is not an Irish Wolfhound.
Yeah. Like if you were not hunting, if you were doing it's just the fact that it's hunting is such a clear thing to have a dog buddy.
Yeah, because there are about 10 easily recognizable hunting dogs.
And I guess I want the cute can override that. And if that's where you're coming from, then nothing I can say will defeat that. But I still think it would be so much more appropriate.
Because if you wanted a hunting dog for Monster Hunter, people would go like, okay, Golden Retriever. It's a terrible dog to kill things with, but it is a hunting dog.
It would help you find the thing.
Right.
Track those fucking footprints.
Yeah, we have flies for that. Cute flies.
Yeah. I would love that so much. It would be so fun, you know. And then you know what you do after a good hunt?
What's that?
You pet the dog.
You pet the dog.
You pet the good boy.
And it could get that goddamn Twitter account to recognize it.
Yeah,
it's a good Twitter account.
All right. Anyway.
See, Gungeon changed the game because of that Twitter account?
I did not.
They added an update to allow you to pet the dog.
That's... Wow. that account's doing good work.
Yep.
Gabriel says, real quick tick on Poco, man. All I'm going to say is downgrades are worth it because I don't have to play on the 3DS anymore.
That's a fair point.
Can't even hate it.
I can't even hate it.
But it's a portable thing. It's always got to be on the portable thing. You know the deal.
It's always going to be on the shittiest hardware they can get away with.
Dear Brennan and Rich Evans, I mean, it was not that.
I'll take that.
It was not anyway.
I really do feel like your laugh can occasionally really hit those Rich Evans points.
What constitutes being a waifu? For instance, Willie said in Bloodstained, it contained waifu elements, which I saw some get upset, thinking it's simply a character customization. I had trouble wording what makes something waifu in the past, and I've never been able to get it down pat. Xenoblade 2 is the most definitely a waifu game. Fire Emblem and Awakening and Persona. However, when I say this, The others question why Xenoblade 1X or earlier FE games or SMT aren't waifu games. Help a friend out explaining his reasoning, because there's a difference between SMT and Persona when it comes to waifu stuff.
Got it.
This came up recently because I talked about it in Bloodstained.
Saw a lot of people saying this, and I also said something similar.
Yeah, and it kind of like I got irked by this because a lot of people were just like going off and saying like, man, Wooly fucking hates it and all, and like we're inferring a lot that I didn't say.
You're inferring much waifu judgment that we are not making.
And I'm just like, I find it hilarious that it's like I can see the designs for like what they put as accessories on the characters to make them appealing in that way. But I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not judging them. I'm not calling it something that is like, don't do this. I hate that. So I that was so far off that I was like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? I can
break it down in what I believe are 3 core elements. 1, anime. Anime flavor is important to calling something a waifu thing. 2, main character, cute girl. Specifically, cute girl. Not that she's super hot, but she's cute. 3, character customization that makes that cute girl cuter. These make a waifu system.
I mean, that's pretty vague.
It is. Yeah. It's broad. It's a broad system. It is pretty
broad. To me, it's a feeling of like if you take a character and like if you take someone that would otherwise be like fairly plain in design, even if they're already sort of cute or whatever, and you add elements to them that are like accessories or like clothing items that like hit a particular flavor, you know? So I feel like you know how we talk about like you take a normal kid and then you give him that one streak of white and then you put the hat backwards and you give him the gloves and suddenly you've got a protagonist from a shonen anime.
That's right.
Right? And like it's the same flavor where you add these accessories where it's like, okay, so now this nun has a little in Bloodstained specifically, she's got the what the fuck is it called? The leg.
Garter.
She has the garter and then
one leg.
Right, over one leg, like a literal wife does on the wedding day, mind you. She's got the little thing on the head, little hat thing that's like a particular flavor, and then the opening at the legs with the tights on them, where you can see
she's got the habit that has the split, but her boobs are too big, so it pushes the split out.
And then you can see the G-taste leggings underneath, you know. And I'm like, that's where you took a normal sort of done, and you added these little flavors to it that are all flavors that people are particularly into.
Now, I want to point something out. People are going, Pat, you're wrong. Of course I'm wrong. But no, seriously. I'm describing a waifu system. There are also waifu games. And the waifu game is defined by having numerous, like, archetypes designed for
different
your
tastes.
penis.
Pick your favorite.
Right? Depending on which, like, side of the fence you swing on, or if you sit on the fence, Mass Effect is a waifu game, a husbando game, or a waifu husbando game.
Sure, if you go back long enough, anything like harem, like Love Hina,
Fire Emblem is
you can say that you pick your waifus from that. Yeah, the word just came about.
I'm very happy with that.
Yes, rife with wife.
Yes.
Not bad. It just came about eventually, you know, as something that like it already existed in the form of like we used to just say things like harem choices.
Yeah,
you know. But it's like pick your favorite of this list. But
FF15 is a husbando game for real.
But yeah, like I think like you can have tame designs, but as long as they're different enough from each other, like Persona.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like you have tame archetypes, but like they're all like
the archetypes.
The archetypes. So what are you looking for? Do you want your literal sexy nurse?
Yeah.
Do you want your teacher? Yeah. Do you want your sportsy athletic girl?
Yeah.
We've got your goofy kind of down to earth home girl.
Yeah.
You know, like do you want your president incho?
Yeah.
You know, class rep. Like there's literally so you spread it all out like that.
You sure do.
And in the case of Bloodstained, it's like you can see like where they just you can see where they just they throw some accessories on / little things to the hairstyles and little isms perhaps to the voice or the character or the way they talk.
Make really high pitch, make really low pitch, give her sunglasses, give her a French braid, etc.
And these are all things where you can be like, you know, I never really thought about it, but I really have something for that little tooth sticking out.
Yep.
Or I really have something.
What is up with that? I don't get that one, but I guess that's a thing.
I have something for the thick-rimmed glasses.
Yep.
You know,
I get that one.
Right. I have a particular flavor for chokers.
Yep.
Right? Like,
get that one. You and me both. Persona 3, where like if Yukari didn't have that fucking choker, I would just shoot her in the face. But the choker's cool.
Yeah, chokers are cool. But you know, and that's all, and that's kind of what you sort of get is like these little like bits of that amount to the flavoring. Now, of course, what's to say when something is not a waifu thing attempt or not a waifuism or a game or whatever? I don't know. It's hard to really say because it's a bullshit made up term that doesn't really exist. So
it's not a real genre.
It's not really clear cut, but I think it's kind of funny.
It's a feeling.
It's a
feeling in your chest.
And I mean, ultimately, the moment you almost have a serious discussion about it, it's almost like, well, it was a joke. Like, people think it's funny to say the word wife in Japanese, and that's why everyone says it.
Because you're fucking Azumanga
It's just a funny
That dude's a creep!
Yeah. But it's ultimately just like, it caught on because it was funny to say. And, like, you know, there's not much analysis behind the feeling.
Everybody loves saying the word waifu and husbando. It's fucking hilarious.
The character from what's that VR game called again?
You need to be
Summer Lesson.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that was like designed by committee to be as appealing as possible.
Yeah.
To a broad range.
And then here's a second one that's designed by committee to appeal to everyone. The first one didn't too. And the third one, same thing.
You know, and they're also very like normal, tame look. Yeah. Like in terms of the accessories and all that.
Yeah, they're
stuff.
not like dragons.
No. That's a flavor. That's a flavor.
Yep. Is it?
If Lamias are.
Okay. Lamias are a flavor.
Snack.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about as far as I can take
steppy.
It. And most importantly, this is a no judgment zone. Not condemning anyone or anything that's doing the waifuism.
All right, so this is where, Wooly, on this podcast, you're right. It is a no judgment zone. However, and this is where I'm going to shill it, Wooly, you also have a Twitch and YouTube channel, yes?
Yeah.
That's Wooly Versus on both of those?
That's correct.
Is that also no judgment zone?
Yeah, unless I judge.
Okay. So on Angriest Pat, which is my Twitch channel, that is a high judgment zone.
Gotcha.
I will judge you probably to be disgusting. But that's fine.
But you're not judging as much as you are comparing to your own flavors.
No. Judgment.
Okay.
You foot people? Gross.
No.
You're gross.
Oh, we call them gross on ours too. But
on Angriest Pat. Here, no judgment.
Well, what actually ends up happening on Wooly Versus is I take all the things that we would be judging, and I just attribute them to Reggie.
Oh, dude, that's a lot. All of them?
They tend to go his direction.
Poor Reggie.
At the moment, Reggie's currently a foot fetishist, whether he knows it or not.
Yeah.
So
you see the little toe? It's scandal. Fuck you, people.
But yes, yes. Assumptions and inferring, you know. The summary here comes from one that says, "Dear 1.5 Canadians, in response to your milk bag discussion, other food-related tangents, you helped reinforce a revelation I had a while ago. Logic behind American design and food choices and packaging is simply that they hate extra steps when involved with food items. Coming from a man who lived for the majority of my life in the States, not comprehending milk bags and ramune, not understanding Vegemite is not to be slathered on like peanut butter, but a base American logic is that food is just to be opened up and the food should be shoveled into your mouth.
That sounds,
I await a future where Americans casually use feed bags, but aside from the woke edgelord shitting of the US of A, I also ask on the side of this subject, what are the upsides of perks or of food items having certain packaging or specific steps?
So, I actually ran into a similar revelation, and that was because we're in Texas barbecue, and went to multiple restaurants that were run like fucking cafeterias.
Yeah.
High-end, pricey restaurants with amazing, amazing food that they're like, do you want some peach cobbler? I'm like, yes, I would, thank you. And the guy took a fucking big scoop into a trough and scooped me out some peach cobbler. Paige and I bought a peach cobbler to share at the airport in Toronto, and it was fucking plated and fancy in comparison, right? Who gives a like? There's a real feeling of who gives a fuck. Put it in your gob.
If I am about to eat anything, and the thing I'm eating is on a lunch tray, my taste expectations start at 0.
Even if it's really amazing,
they drop to nothing. versus if I'm sitting at a fancy restaurant.
Your test expectations are high.
They start at like 7.
Because it should better be. If you're going to fancy it up on this fucking plate, it better be nice.
So there's that.
Yeah.
I will say that, I don't know. I assume that when it comes to something like sardines, there's a reason why that tin is the way it is. I assume that's an optimal way that they figured out.
It's to stop you from eating the poison fish. Because it's disgusting.
The sardines are fine.
I'll fight you.
You gotta mix them with other shit.
I'll fight you.
You gotta mix them with other shit, but they're fine. But I bet you there's probably a preservation reason for that, or canning shit
fish
or whatever.
Stays better longer in a can.
Yeah.
This always reminds me of that turkey falling out of Shakira's ass. You seen that gif?
No.
It's a turkey in a bag. You ever seen that shit? It's a fucking gooey nightmare. You fucking Photoshop that falling out of Shakira's ass in a fucking dance routine.
Should I even?
Yeah, you should gift that. You should look that up on your phone. On your phone.
Okay.
Not on this screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna
go post that on Twitter right now.
Gonna just swerve past that.
Are you?
And last one coming in from Chris says, "Hello, Cowboy Imposter." The one before that was from Aussie Patrick. And lastly, Chris says, "Hello, Cowboy Imposter Brothers. Upon replaying this amazingly made Spider-Man PS4, I noticed something cool. Your first spider suit has the ability to focus refill your bar and rapidly replenish focus anytime you want. This ability at first seemed like a basic boost that allowed you to heal to pull off finishers. Later in the game, when your focus bar grows bigger, it's a huge help in tougher combat situations, since larger enemies take larger bars to finish. Has there ever been a mechanic or an item introduced in the early game that you just saw as a helpful beginner's tool, but surprised you with how helpful it came back around in the later parts of the game?"
Probably the jab and God Hand.
Oh, that's a good one.
The jab and God Hand is like, it's a fucking jab. And then you throw a million fancy fucking moves on your bar, and you're like, I can't fucking pop people out of their bullshit anymore. And you go back to a jab or a mock jab or anything that's super fucking fast as your hit one in your combo.
That's a really good one. Yeah, I can't think of any particular, but that's strong. A basic bitch beginner thing that comes back around to being super useful. I mean, it doesn't really count in like the Persona games when like you get your starter back at the end, because it's not the same thing. It's like a beefed up version of it.
You know what? I'm gonna walk over and show Wooly something.
I don't want to see turkey coming. I don't want to see turkey coming out of an ass, because that has many meanings.
It does, doesn't it?
There's a lot of ways that Satan sentence can be like.
Look at it again.
That's fucking gross, dude. That's fucking disgusting. That's super disgusting. I hate it. Everything about that.
That's what I was thinking.
That's
of
the
during
worst.
Our whole conversation.
And that's actually safe for work.
Technically,
it's safe for work. It's just that the ideas it puts in your brain
are very bad.
That's fucking horrendous.
Hit that share button. Tweet.
That's really nasty.
Good podcast this week.
Oh, brains can't stop them.
All right, everybody wants to know what I'm talking about. Check out my Twitter at Angry'sPat. Oh, see, there's an organic plug. Did that damage you?
Because I know it's like I know what it is. I'm able to like keep it in a place where it doesn't do critical damage.
Yeah,
but it's well done.
I saw that 5 years ago, just posted in a fucking. I'm like, oh, wow! Scrolling down a forum is.
It's well done. It is well done. I will say that. Yeah, so what's coming up this week on your stuff?
I'm doing Hat in Time, Nyaka's stuff. I figured out how to hack the cutscenes to fix the problem I had. And then on Friday, I'm going to do Nightwave stuff in Warframe. My new plan is that on Fridays, I'm going to do Warframe or 14 streams and just chat it up and grind it out. Thumbs up, everybody. That's over twitch.tv/angry'spat.
Okay. Meanwhile, over on Wooly Versus, going to continue with Mortal Kombat, having some trouble because that game does not play nice with YouTube, as you can imagine.
Even if you make it blue.
I think my anticipation of Jobber Khan has kind of led to me more or less being okay with it.
Has it just like softened the impact on it?
Yeah, because I just sat there the whole game like.
Did you get to the end?
Yeah.
Okay, because the end, it's fucking crazy how bad he jobs. It's unbelievable.
But I was expecting so much worse.
Yeah.
At the but
you can't get up. How much worse did you expect?
Kodal the Broken.
Yeah.
Kodal, long may he reign. Wheelie wheelie legs no feely.
Oh man.
So whatchamacallit, that continues over on Wooly Versus alongside some one-offs. We took a look at some cool games this week. In particular, I believe, we took a look at Luca, Born from a Dream. And we took a look at Hardcore Mecha. We took a look at Mario Maker 2. So that stuff should be dropping soon. And, of course, we're going to keep taking these quick looks alongside the LPs. Should be starting the next game this week as well, which, no surprise, the Platinum Train continues. And Gone in 60 Seconds continues as well. Thank you for the positive feedback. I'm glad you're enjoying that. I understand that you are concerned with the amount of time it'll take to get there. But obviously, we're fucking oceans apart, so it's tricky to make this work. And if once a week is not enough, the other version of this would have been...
It'll take 3 years.
It might.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll see if I can do something about that. But you know what the alternative is? It doesn't exist. So you could either
just watch it all by tomorrow.
You can get the version where we do it like this, or we do it in a way that fits the schedules, or you can get the version where there is none. So what do you want me to say? I think it's fun to do. I'm going to keep doing it. That's all. Over at Wooly Versus, tune in. We're going to play some fighting games. Going to do some anime this week. There's some anime that hasn't been dug up in quite a minute.
Yeah.
That's what's worth doing. And then, of course, we got the weekly stream/LP thing we do. Going to be doing...
Oh, you got something to announce this Saturday, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So we've got... this week we're going to be taking a look at some of them racing games that came out recently. Reggie and Min and I will be doing that on Thursday evening. And then on Saturday... We'll be cleaning up Resident Evil 2.
Finally, goddamn. It's been 2 months since the last time we did it.
So
it's hard to schedule up our schedules.
So yeah, that should be happening. Cleaning up RE2.
At the very least, you'll beat Leon's campaign for sure.
Cool. So stay tuned for that over on Wooly Versus.
All right, now we're going to staple the podcast to the other podcast. So enjoy us in the past.
Sorry about the quality. Goodbye.
Bye.